Welcome to Data Analysis with Amo. In today's video, we'll be creating dashboard in Tableau using US sales data from Kaggle. So to access this data, just hit the description button. So without wasting my time, let's just get to it. Alright, so now I've uploaded my data onto the Tableau platform. I can do that simply by just going to the file, then just go to the location where you stored your data, then just hit on OK. So you have your data on the Tableau platform. Okay, so the first chart that I'm going to create is the US sales chart. So this chart is going to show me the state and the total number of sales that occurred in those states. So I'll just move my state column here to details, and then I'll just move my total sales to color. Alright, so now this one gives me the color variation, showing me the state where there was a lot or a high total sales and the place where there was a small total sales. Okay, so you can change the color by hitting on this color button here, edit. Then you just go to, for me, I like the red gold, so I'll just hit on the red gold, apply, and okay. So now I have a different color for the state sales chart. So now I want to change the title. So I just double click on the title here. Then I'll just input the title that I want to do. So I want to name this chart US sales US sales chart. US state sales. Okay, so let's do it that way. State sales. Okay, that's perfect. So now apply and okay. Very good. So now we are done with our first chart for our dashboard. So I'll just move to the next. I'll just open a new worksheet to create my next chart. Our next chart is going to be product sales. So you move your product to the column, then the sales to the row. Okay, so this one gives us this graph. Okay, so now you can choose to represent this graph in another form, or maybe you can just keep it like that. All right, so now the next thing you're going to do is maybe you want to put some colors on it to differentiate between the products that we have in our store. So I'll just move the product to color. All right, so now I have a different colors for this one. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do here is maybe I want to show the total sales for each product, which is very simple. So what I'm going to do now is that I'll just move total sales to label. Okay, so now I have the labels, but I can change the unit of these labels that I have here so that it becomes precise for me. So what I need to do here is maybe I'll just click on this one and I'll just go to format. Okay, so when I go to format, on the default, I can just click on it. I'll click on the number, then I'll go to number custom, then maybe I want to change the unit to maybe millions. So I'll just do that. Okay, very good. So you can see that now the product, the total sales that we have here has now changed to million, which is very precise for us, which is very easy to read. Okay, so now the next thing I will do is maybe let me just change the title for this one. So I'll just double click on this one, then I'll name this product sales. Apply and okay. So that's cool. So now this is our product sales chart. Then you move on to our next chart. In this workbook, we are going to create monthly profit by product. So I'll move my operating profit to the row, then my invoice date to the column. But you can see here that the data type for this column is a string. So I have to change it to date type. So I'll just right click on this one. Then I'll go to change data type and I'll choose date. Okay, so now I have it in the date type. So I'll move this one to the filter. Then I want it in month because I want monthly profit. So I'll choose month. Then next. Okay, so now I'll choose all, apply, and okay. So now I have my month, I have my date type here in month. So I'll just move it to the column here. Okay, so now I have to put my product on the graph too. So I'll just move my product here to color because I have to try to differentiate between the product that you have in our store. So now I have a line chart here. By this line chart here, you can choose a different format that you want this chart to be. So I'll go with circle. Okay, so now you can see that you have circles representing the product and the total profit that they made every month. Okay, so now in our data, you can see that we have 2 years in our data. So we have 20. Well, let's check it out and see what you have here. Okay, so now let's move this one to filter. Then let's choose years and see the number of years that you have in our data. So you move to next. Okay, so now you can see that in our data, you have data for 2020, 2020, and you have data for 2021. Okay, so now let's try to choose all of them so that you can choose any year that you want to observe on our chart. So I'll just choose apply and okay. So now let's assume that we want to observe the total profit that we got in 2020. So I'll just double click on this one and I'll just choose only 2020. Apply and okay. So now this one is giving us the data for 2020. And you can also choose a different one for 2021, or you can just choose all. So in our graph, let's try to choose all and see. Okay, so now let's choose all. Very good. So now you can see that after choosing all, that is, so this one is combining both years together, 2020 and 2021. Okay, very good. So now this is our monthly profit by product. Now let's take this one out. So I'll just right click on this one and hide field. So I'll just hide this one, and then this one is off. Okay, I can also take this one off. I'll just right click on this one. I'll go to edit as is. So after clicking on edit as is, let me do it again. Edit as is. Okay, very good. So I'll just delete this one from it. So after deleting, I'll just close this pop-up. Okay. Okay, so after closing this pop-up, you can see that the label that we had there has also moved. Now let's try to label this as sheet. Then move on to our next chart. So I'll double click as we did it in the previous chart. Then I'll just label this one monthly profit by product. Okay, so now I'll just hit on apply and okay. So now there's our chart for monthly profit by product. So now you move on to our next chart. So you're going to create monthly sales and price per unit. I'm creating this chart to find the trend between the price per unit for each month and the total sales that was made within that month, which is very simple. So now what you need to do is that I'll just move my total sales to my row. Then I'll also move my price per unit to the same row. Okay, so now I have this one. So I have to filter my month and put it in the column. Alright, so I'll take my month here. Okay, so now I choose all. Alright, so apply and okay. Then I move my month to the column here. Okay, so now you can see that you have a line chart for total sales and you have a line chart for price per unit. Now I want to put the two graphs together, so I will just right click on the price per unit. Then I'll go to dual axis. So after choosing dual axis, you can see that the two line chart has now been put together. Okay, so now what I need to do next is maybe let's try to filter the years. So I'll just move this to the filter and I'll just choose years. Okay, so now let me choose both and see. Apply and okay. Alright, so I want to try to choose maybe only 2020. Okay, so now you can see that the chart has now changed. So now this one is just showing us the trend between the sales and the price per unit. That is, if maybe the price is increasing, what is the total number of sales that was made within that month? And in month where the prices also decrease, what was the total sales that was also made in that particular month? All right, so let's try to edit our chart. So now let me take this one off. Okay, very good. So now I don't want all this, so let me try to take this one to off. So edit as is, then let's do it again. Edit as is. All right, then let me just clear this one. Okay, then I'll just close this. All right, so now I can also take this one out. Edit as is. Let me do it again. Oh. Okay, so now I'll just clear this one. Now just close the pop-up. All right, so now you can see that the amount that you have here is in million, but this one is also in thousands. So now what you need to do here is I'll just right click here and I'll go to format. So in format, in the number scale, I'll just go here, go to number custom, then I'll just choose million. Okay, so now you can see that you have this one in million and you have this one in also in million. So okay, I think we are done for this chart. So what you need to do now is maybe let's try to name this workbook, so as you did it in the previous chart. I'll just name this one monthly sales and price per unit. All right, so apply and okay. All right, so now we are done with this chart. But before you continue to our next chart, let's try to label the sheet here so that when you get to the dashboard, you find it difficult to locate the worksheet. So now this one is product sales. So now you just let's double click on this one and let's label this one product sales. Okay. Then the next one is monthly profit by product. So double click and then we label it one monthly profit by product. Okay, then the next one too is monthly sales and price per unit. So you double click on this one. Monthly sales and price per unit. All right. So now we are done labeling our workbook. So now we move on to our next chart. In this chart, I'm going to create a donut chart using my sales method and my total sales. So I'll move my sales method to the column, my total sales to the row. I'll choose pie chart. Then I'll create an average of 0 for one pie chart and an average of 0 for the other pie chart. So average of 0 for one. So now you can see that I have two pie charts. So I'll move to the second pie chart here. Then I'll take out all the columns that I have in that pie chart. Okay, then I'll change it from pie to circle. Okay, then I set the color to white. Okay, then I try to put the two charts together. So draw as this, then I will synchronize them. Okay, so okay, it's done. So now that I'm done, let me just try to increase the size to see my donut chart. Okay, so now our donut chart is ready. Okay, so now let me just change the view here to fit height. All right, so now I have our donut chart here. Let's try to edit our chart. So I'll take out this label here, this label here. The chart that I have, I'll just take it out. I'll just close this pop-up and I'll come to the next one, also edit as this. Then I'll take it out. Okay. All right, so now that I'm done with this one, I want to put the total sales into the middle of our donut chart. So I'll move to my second chart, that is this one. Then I'll move my total sales to label. So after moving it to label, I'll just right click here, go to format. Then I will change, I'll go to number custom. I don't want any decimal place, so I'll set this on to 0. I'll set it to 0. Then I'll go to change my display unit to million. Okay, so now when I'm done, I can just go here to put it in the middle. So I'll just put it to the center and this. All right, so now I have to have our total sales in the middle of our donut chart. Okay, so let's try to close this one. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to do is I want to put the label to show the sales method. So I'll just go to my pie chart, that's the main one. Then I'll just move my total sales, my sales method here to the label. All right, so now this one gives me the label. So this one is showing the sales method. So this one showing the online, this one showing the in-store, and this one also showing me the outlet. All right, so now that I have this, so I can just try to sort it out. Because now this one is in an angle form, so it's either in an ascending order or descending order. So I can do that by just right clicking here, then I'll go to sort. So when I go to sort, so data source order. So I want to sort by field. So descending order. Then what field am I going to, how am I going to sort it out? I'm going to use the total sales. Okay, so now I'm done. So I'll just close this one. Then it's okay. So now that I have my chart here, let me just try to format my graph here to take out some features that I don't want. So I'll just click on any part of the chart. I'll just go to format. Then when after I go to format, then I'll just come here to border. So column divider, I'll set it to none. Then I will go to grade lines. I'll set it to num2. Okay, so now let me just go back here. Let me check something. So the ground total, let me set this one to also none and see what happens. Okay, then cell default none and all that. Okay, so now I'm done with my uh, I'm done editing my donor chart. So now this one is our donor chart, and you have to try to label this our donor chart. So I'll just go here, just type sales method. So this will just give us composition of the total sales by each sales method. So now you have it here. Okay, now let me try it. Okay, so now the sheet has been renamed to sales method. That is perfect. Okay, so now you move on to our last chart. Then after that, then you go to our dashboard creation. All right, so now I hit on my next sheet, and in this sheet, I'm going to create a retailer's sale. So now this one is going to show me the retailer shop, the total sales that they are able to make per the total sales that they're able to make, which is very simple. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to move my retailer to my column section here. Then I'll move my total sales to the row. Okay, so now I have it here. So what I'm going to do now is that I want to differentiate between the retailer shops that we have. So I'll move my retailer here to color. Okay, then let me just set this view to maybe entire view, so I can have a full view of our graph. Okay, so now that we are done with this one, let's try to put the total sales to show the sales that each retailer shop made. So I'll just move my total sales to label. So after I move it to label, so you can see that it is now appearing on it. Now maybe I can decide that I just want to change the unit, which is very simple. So I'll just right click here, just go to format. Now just go to numbers. I'll go to number custom. Then maybe I don't want decimal place, so let me set this one to 0. Okay, then let me change the unit to million. Okay, so that's perfect. So now our graph is ready. Sorry, our chart is ready. So now let's try to label this one. So now label this one retail sales. Okay, so hit applying. Okay, so now let me take this one out. Let me take this label out. So now I'll just hide this one. Okay, then I can also take this one out too, which is very simple. Okay, I'll just take this one out like this. Then, so I think that is all that I want. So now I have this one here. I can choose to keep it, or I can just choose to take it out. So maybe I can just say I just want to. Okay, show title. Maybe let's hide it. Okay, so now let's try to hit this one. Okay, so now you're done creating our chart for our dashboard. But I would like us to have some filters in our dashboard so that you'll be able to manipulate our dashboard for it to be very interactive. So now let's try to filter the ES here. So now choose ES here. Okay, very good. So now you choose all. So for the default, let's try to choose all and see. Apply and okay. Okay, so now we have this one here. Then now let's try to put the region to, so we'll be able to. Okay, so we create a filter for this one. So now let's try to choose all for now. Then let's try to, for the product to, let's try to also, okay, let's close this one. Okay, so now let's put the product to on it. So the product, let's try to choose all, apply, and okay. All right, so now let's try to show filter. So show filter and show filter. Okay, so in this here you can just edit it like this so that you'll be able to choose when you see that you want all, or because not that always you can't have it all, because maybe in our analysis you would like to have maybe for 2020, 2021, or maybe to have also. I'll just hit on this here, then I'll just go to single value. Okay, very good. So now this one gives me the opportunity to just choose the year that I want. So I can just choose 2021, 2020, or maybe all. Okay, very good. So now we are done creating our chart for our dashboard. So let's try to label the sheet here so that when we are creating our dashboard, you find difficult locating it. So which other series? Okay, very good. Okay, so now you move on to the dashboard creation. Alright, so in creating my dashboard, I will just click on the new dashboard button here. That's new dashboard. So now I have the interface. So I'll first of all create a vertical container to contain all my charts. So I'll move vertical container to this side. When I go to layout, I'll choose float. Then I'll set my x axis to 0. Also set my y axis also to 0. Then I'll set my width to 1200. Then I'll set my height to 800. Okay, so now I can let me put border for this one. So I'll just put this border. Okay, so now I have my container to contain all my charts for the dashboard. So first I'll just drop in the monthly sales and profit per unit into my my dashboard platform. So now I just want this one to be above all the charts. So I'll input in the vertical container. Okay, so now this one gives me another platform beneath it for me to also put in another chart. Okay, so I'm going to put in the monthly profit per product here. Then adjacent to it, I'm going to put the US state sales. So you see that whenever you put in it, you see that the area that you want to put it, that side is going to have a shaded part. So you can see on the left side, I have this one. If I want to put it on the right too, I also have uh, a shaded part here. And also I want to put it on the left. So let me just drop it here. Okay, very good. So now I have these two charts on my platform. You can adjust this using numbers, or you can just use this. You can just move the edges, as simple as that. Okay, so now I have these two charts on my dashboard. So the next one that I want to put on is the sales method. Okay, so now the sales method, I just want it to be beneath these two. So I'll just input in my vertical container here. I want it to be here. So okay, so I want it to be at the bottom. So you see there's a shaded part at the bottom. So I'll just leave it there. Then I'll just input my sales method there. Then I'll also input my retail sales. I want it to be adjacent to it. So I'll just drop it there too. So now you can see that I have all this here in my chart. Okay, so now let me try to adjust the chart here to fit in the container. Okay, so let's move this one a little bit up. Then I'll just move this one a little bit up. Okay, now I want to put title for my my dashboard. So I'll just input in a text container. So I'll just put it here. A text container. Then the text container, I'm going to label this one US Adidas sales data. Okay, so now just click OK. Okay, very good. So now I have it here. I can double click on it to edit this part. So now let me just highlight everything here. Let me increase the font here to maybe 18. Then let me make it black. Then okay. Okay, so now I have this one here. So let me just try to center it. Okay. Alright, so now that I have it here, I can just draw a line to separate the title from my other graph. So I'll move a blank container beneath the title here. Then I'll edit the height here. I'll put the height to 10. Okay, then I'll go to layout. Then the border, I'll make it black. Okay, then I'll just click on any other place. So now you can see that you have drawn a line to separate the title from the other chart. But when you look at our chart that you have, it's left with a chart to insert on our platform, and that is the product sales. So, but the side here is too small. So now let's try to adjust this part so that you can have a good view of our chart beneath at this part. So now let's put the height here to 1000. Okay, very good. So now this one is now giving us a nice view here. So let's try to add the product sales chart to this one. Okay, perfect. So now you have all our charts on our dashboard. Let's try to adjust this one so that it looks nice. Okay, so I'll just move this one a bit further. Now I have this one here. Okay. Okay, so I think now it's okay. So what you're going to do now is now you have our filters that you're supposed to show on our dashboard. So I'll just go to my layout here, then I'll scroll down to my tiled item. I'll go to horizontal container. Then I was opening to another container. I'll just choose vertical container. So you can see that my filter has been highlighted here. Okay, so let me just try to move this one. So okay. All right, so now let me make this one a float so that I can just move it around on the dashboard. So I'll just make it float. Okay, very good. So now you can see that I can just move it around on my dashboard. Okay, so now I do not want the other tile there, so I'll just go ahead to delete it from my. Just I'll just click on this one. Right, then go to remove from dashboard, then delete containers. Okay, very good. So now I have my filters here. So now I have to put it at a side so that I'll be able to manipulate my dashboard for it to be more interactive. So what you need to do now is you make sure you click on this button here to highlight all the filters that you have on your dashboard. Then when you are done, you come back to the item hierarchy, then go to the vertical container containing all the charts there. You right click on it, then you deactivate the floating. So when you're done deactivating the floating, you will just come and highlight the filters again. You just use the shift key, then start moving the filter to where you want to put it. So now I want to put it on this side, so I'll just put it here and I'll just leave. So now I have my filter on the side of my dashboard. So now you can see that the filter has occupied almost half of the space of our dashboard. So now let's try to adjust it. So I'll just move it to the side. Then I'll just go back to my dashboard and I'll adjust the width and the height that I have here. So I'll set the width to 1500. Okay. All right. So now this one gives me the dashboard with its filters. So let me just try to shift this one to the side a bit. Okay, very good. So now I have my dashboard here. So what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to make sure that the filters works on all the charts that I have on my dashboard to make it more interactive. So I will just click on this, and I'll just choose use as filter. So I'll just select all of them and then I'll just choose use as filter. Okay, use as filter. Okay, so now it's left with the chart here. Use as filter. Okay, so when I'm done, I'll just come back to my filters that I created here. I'll just hit on this button here and I'll go to apply to worksheet. So I want to apply using this data source. So this one, then I'll just come to the next one, the same as how I did it for the first one. So using this data source, then this one to using this data source. Okay, so when you are done, you can just try to start manipulating your data. So now let me try to use 2020 for my data. So you can see that when I move this one, the dashboard starts with moving. So now I want to choose for only men apparel. So I'll just hit on this. So now let me just choose for only this one. Okay, so now I want for only men. Okay. Alright, so now you can see that this one is showing for only men. So now this one is giving me the output for only men for 2020. So you can just play around this data. The arrangement, you can just do your own arrangement based on how you want your dashboard to be. You can just do that and you just have a very nice dashboard and more interactive dashboard. Okay. Alright, so I think we will bring our lessons to this end. You can just play with Tableau, work on it, just try to do new things on your own. You just find that because of time, you cannot cover every part of it, even adjusting the dashboard to look more attractive, but you can just try that on your own, try to play around using the format, the inner paddling, the outer paddling, and all that to adjust the dashboard for it to look very beautiful.
Thank you very much for watching this video. So if you like this video, just hit on the subscription button for more videos. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.